Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am C. Shilpa Surana, and since Krishna Diagnostics Limited IPO went live today, I just thought to make a quick video on the same discussing about various aspects of the company. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Also, if you like the content of this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So let's start with today's IPO review. So now let's talk about the company first. So this company provides wide range of technology enabled services which include diagnostic services, radiology services, teleradiology services, pathology services, clinical services to public hospitals, private hospitals, medical colleges, community health centers across India. All right. So the product base is also huge as well as the customer base is also huge for this company. So also this company have served almost 13 million patients since its inception. Okay. Also, this company is one of the fastest growing diagnostic chain in India in terms of operating income, operating profit before depreciation. All right. Also, this company is having extensive network of integrated diagnostic centers across India in non-metro as well as low-tier cities and towns. Okay. Also, this company operates India's one of the largest tele-reporting hub out of Pune, wherein it processes humongous amount of X-rays, CT scans, MRI scans round the clock, and this helps it to serve its customer which are based in remote locations. All right, so in teleradiology services, it actually provide radiologist over telephone to its customer so that they can take consultation from those radiologists. All right. Now, this company has also entered into PPP, that is public private partnerships contract with central government funded agencies, state healthcare agencies, municipal corporations, Indian Railways. Also, apart from PPP segment, this company is growing its collaboration with private healthcare providers also, so that this company can set up its diagnostic center in their facilities. And as of December 20, this company have 20 such diagnostic centers which are established in other private healthcare providers facility. Okay, so if you actually see the revenue bifurcation, that how much it earns from public health agencies and how much it earns from private healthcare providers, then out of the total revenue, 67.5% almost is earned from public healthcare agency and around 32.5% is earned from private healthcare providers. All right, now looking at the services that the company offer, the company provides radiology services which include MRI scan, CT scan, X-ray, mammography, ultrasound, etc. It provides pathology services, so it includes running various tests like urine test, blood test, etc. for diagnosis of diseases. Then it provides teleradiology services whereby it provides radiologist services over telephone. Okay, and then it provides home collection services of various samples. Okay, from its customer location. Now coming to the competition in business, so their major competitors are Dr. Lalpath Labs, SRL Limited, Metropolis Healthcare Limited, Thyrocare Technologies, amongst other. Okay, now coming to the industry overview. So this diagnostic industry is expected to grow approximately at 15% during 21 to 23 period. Now also one more positive factor for this company is that government is planning to increase their funding in this industry, that is the diagnostic industry, because they are trying to focus more on the healthcare of public. Okay, so now they are planning to increase their funding year on year by almost 14 to 17% range during the period 2020 to 2023. Okay, so that is also one more positive factor, because as we have seen that its major revenue is coming from PPP, that is public private partnership. So this shows that it has been able to get a lot of contracts from government for providing such services. So in the future also we can expect, although that's just an expectation, that company will continue to win such contracts, but there are high chances that it might happen. Okay, so now let's talk about the financials of the company. So the assets of the company has increased from March 19 to March 21, and so has the revenue, and the company has turned profitable this year. Okay, however, this is what prima facie it looked like. I was trying to deep drill that how come there was suddenly so much jump in revenue, to what this jump is attributable. And what I found in the income statement of the company was that apart from the revenue from operation, there are other gains also booked during this year, and this amounted to 2,500 millions almost. Okay, so this is actually the chunk which has resulted in so much of profit after tax this year. Okay, actually when you are analyzing the financials of the company, these activities which are like one time booking of gains should not be considered, because that might not show the true picture of the company. Okay, so likewise when we were seeing March 19 and March 20 PAT figures or profit after tax figure, we saw there were losses. But actually if you see the financials, even these losses are coming because there was a booking of loss on fair valuation. Okay, and which resulted into this much amount of losses. So technically if you eliminate these nature of expenses which are not attributable to operations, even I think this year like March 19 and March 20 would have shown some amount of profit. So it was technically not in loss at that time also, according to me. Okay, so considering all these one time items which are there in the PNL, or these items which are not related to the operations of the company, I thought to analyze the financials in some other way, wherein I tried to see how much was the growth in core operations. Okay, so like these are the revenue from core operations, right? So the CAGR for this core activity was 37.66%. Okay, so according to me, this is actually the growth that company had seen year on year. Okay, between FY19 to FY21. So likewise, I have considered the adjusted EBITDA of the company, that is earning before interest, tax and depreciation. So adjusted here means it is adjusted for even this activity. Okay, this loss or gain from this valuation which is there. So even those is adjusted in this EBITDA. So I've considered this. So if you see the adjusted EBITDA margin, it was 29.4% in 2019, and that has dropped down slightly to 25.95% in 2021. So if you technically see, the margins have reduced year on year if you see only the core operations of the company. Okay, so yes, I'm not saying 25.95% is bad, but what I am trying to say is that as compared to last 2 years, there has been a fall in EBITDA margins. That is the adjusted EBITDA. All right. So now coming to the strengths of the company. So here we have seen, even from core operations point of view, if we analyze, there has been growth in revenue to the extent of 37.66%. Okay, during the period FY19 to FY21. Also the PAT has increased, but like we have seen here that although this PAT has increased from last year, but if you see the EBITDA margin, actually these margins have decreased. Okay, so this PAT increase is mainly attributable to this one time gain that the company has booked. In the future this will not be there, so maybe this kind of profits might not be achieved. Okay, until and unless the company of course achieves good sale, in that case it is possible, but right now the PAT is due to this one time item. So now the next strength of this company is that it is having robust infrastructure and extensive footprints across India. So this company is present in 13 states and it has diagnostic centers at over 1800 locations. All right, now also this company has established 1364 radiology diagnostic centers, 465 pathology diagnostic centers and 425 collection centers. So it is having very strong presence across India. All right, now the next strength of this company is its good track record in PPP segment. So that is clear even from the revenue share. Also we saw that the public agencies have contributed to maximum revenue for this company, so it is having strong holding in that segment, and hence we can say it is positioned well in that segment. Now another one strength of this company is that wide range of services that the company offers. So we have seen that it is into radiology segment, pathology segment, teleradiology segment, home collection, and provide various services like X-ray, CT scan, MRI scan, ultrasounds, etc. Okay, so huge variety of services are there which are offered to public, and for their convenience they also give home collection facility also. Okay, now coming to the risks for this company. Now the company has incurred loss in FY19 and FY20. So for this also we had actually seen that if you eliminate this non-recurring item which is due to loss on fair valuation, maybe there would have not been so much of loss which the company has reported. So actually from operating activity we can say that there was no loss, but because of this one time accounting for this fair valuation related part, there was loss. So yes, the company has incurred loss in FY19 and FY20, but also give a second thought to the fact that whether this was from the operating activities or not. Okay, so now the second risk for this company is that substantial portion of its revenue is generated from this PPP contract, that is public private partnership contracts, or you can say from public health agencies. So there is over dependence on that particular stream of revenue. So again, if they are unable to win any contract in the future, maybe that can have material impact on the revenue of the company as well as on the financials of the company. Okay, so these are some of the risks that I found important to be highlighted here. There are more risks which are mentioned in the RHP. You guys can go through it. So now coming to the IPO details for this company. The IPO for this company had opened up today, that is 4th of August, and is going to close on 6th of August. The price band is 933 to 954 per share, and the market lot is 15 shares. So if you guys want to apply for this IPO, minimum you have to apply for 15 shares. Okay, the issue size is 1213 crore. Out of this, fresh issue is 400 crores only, and the remaining is offer for sale. So this 813 crore is going to go to the promoters of the company. Okay, now coming to the objectives, that for which purpose this fresh issue will be used. So company is proposing to use the same in establishing diagnostic centers in various states like Punjab, Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra. Apart from that, it will be using part of its proceeds in repayment and prepayment of its loans which it has taken, and the remaining it will be using for general corporate purpose. Alright. Now coming to the valuation of this company, even on the upper price band, which is of 954 rupees, if you consider the diluted EPS, I have considered diluted EPS here because that makes more sense to me, because this company is having convertible preference shares, so diluted makes more sense in those cases. So the P that comes in that case is 77. So let's try to see if 77 makes it cheaply valued or fairly valued or overvalued. Okay, so when you compare to its peer, that's Dr. Lalpath Lab. Now Dr. Lalpath Lab currently was trading at a PE of 82.17, whereas Metropolis Healthcare is trading at a PE of 82.59. So 77 is somewhere around these figures only. So according to me, it's neither cheaply valued nor overvalued, but somewhere fairly valued only. Okay. Now coming to the grey market premium, when I last checked, the grey market premium was 460 per share for this company. So for those who don't know what a grey market premium is, so here the grey market premium is basically the profit at which the share is trading in offline market before the IPO get listed on the stock exchange. Okay, so now coming to the conclusion part. This company is one of the fastest growing diagnostic chain in India, and it has variety of diagnostic services to offer pan India. Alright, so this company has also shown good revenue growth in the past, which is clear from its CAGR. However, we should also consider that current times are such times wherein the companies like Krishna Diagnostics are supposed to boom, because there have been a lot of testings requirement which were there during this year, right? So usage of such facilities is more by general public. The main key thing to see here is whether it will be able to sustain this for long time or not, and hence if I am to invest from a long term perspective, I would give it a hold for some time and then only invest. Now coming to the people who are looking from listing gain, I feel that considering the current bull run as well as the GMP that this company is commanding, I mean it is highest amongst all the 4 IPOs which have launched this week, I feel that this company will have good opening on stock market on listing day. So people who are thinking from listing gain perspective, there are high chances for this particular IPO to have listing gains. So that's all guys from my side. I hope you like the content of this video and it helps you to make an informed decision. If you do like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe it for future updates. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Bye.